Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. So I have these peaches that I need to do something with. They've been sitting in my fridge and I don't want them to go to waste. We've been eating some. I've done a couple of projects with them. Well, one project, and I'm about to do a second project with them. So I want to get on to making something with these peaches for the Every Bit Counts challenge. Okay, so I am going to process the rest of these peaches. They've been sitting in the fridge ripening up, so they're ready to go. And I think I'm just gonna do some peaches and some simple syrup, and we'll use them up whatever way we wanna do them after doing the pepper jam. And these ones, I'll just, like I said, I'll just put in some light simple syrup and can them up. So I may have left them a little too long, and they are probably a little bit overripe. Whatever bad spots I get, I will just cut them off. They're actually starting to shrivel a little bit. I don't think I've ever seen a peach do that. But yeah, yeah, there's a bad spot there. But yeah, so I'm gonna get these peeled and get these into jars. Okay, so I've got my peaches halved and put in some, this is just some lime water to help them stop turning brown. And I'm going to make my simple syrup here. I think I'm gonna make a medium weight simple syrup, and I'm using the book. This is what I'm using to make that simple syrup. I just have my water here measured out, and then put my sugar in, get this dissolved, and then yeah, I'm just gonna can these in a simple syrup. Okay, so I had just enough peaches. These are 1.5 pint jars. I usually do pints. That's what I do usually, and that's like a snack. These would be more like if I'm making a dessert or something like that. I probably need 2 of these, or like if a couple of us wanted a snack. So yeah, so I had enough for 3.5 pint jars. So I had more than enough simple syrup for this. I probably should have cut the recipe down, but I didn't. I made a full recipe, and this is what I get. So I just canned them up with the peaches. But as you can see, I had some siphoning. And why did I have some siphoning? Because I tightened down the jars. I don't know. I swear I have lapse in memory sometimes, and not really, but I tightened down the jars, and this is what happened. They siphoned when I processed them. It's okay. I will use them up first because I really don't like fruit to be sitting up above. They say it's okay, but I don't want that. So I'm going to use these up first before I use, actually I don't have any peaches in my cold room downstairs. So I will be using these up pretty soon, pretty quickly. I would probably leave it for a little while and use other stuff that I have older. But since these siphoned and the peaches aren't sitting in the syrup at the top, I'm going to use these up pretty quickly. So I just had some peaches left over that I couldn't fit into those jars. And I will just freeze them. Well, I've already had them in the freezer, so you can see they're a little bit chilled. But I'll just freeze them, and we'll use them in something else later on down the line. Maybe make some fruit leather or something like that. I'll just stick them in the freezer, put the date on them, and we'll use them at a later date. So today for the Every Bit Counts challenge, I got some cucumbers from the garden. Got a few tomatoes too as well, but I'm gonna make some refrigerator pickles. Okay, so I've cut up my cucumbers. I have some mixed pickling spice here, and I'm gonna add some crushed red peppers just for a little kick. That's the way we like it. In a small saucepan, I'm going to put a cup of water. I'm making half the amount the recipe says, and I'm doing a cup of white vinegar to that water, and then I'm putting in my sugar. And I'm just warming this enough to dissolve that sugar. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this dissolve, the sugar dissolve. And I wish I had some fresh dill to put in there, but I don't because it got eaten by, I don't know if that was friend or foe, whether it was monarch butterflies or some kind of, I know what a tomato hornworm looks like, and that wasn't them. So yeah, hopefully they're living their best life out there, chomping on whatever dill I left them. Okay, so I let my brine cool down. Just gonna pour it on in here. And I should be just about enough. And if not, I would add a little bit of vinegar and water to top it off. Okay, so there they are, my refrigerated pickles. Into the fridge they go. I usually leave it for at least 2 days or so before I start eating them. And we'll just eat them. Sometimes I just add more pickles as we eat them down. Sometimes we would eat the whole jar and then add more. It all depends how the cucumbers come out of the garden. So I now have 2 refrigerated pickle jars going. I just picked some more cucumbers for the Every Bit Counts challenge, and that's gonna be what I'm preserving today. And yeah, I'll just keep adding to it, and we eat down from it and add to it. That's how it's gonna go. This is just a quick tip. I'm actually here making my electrolyte drink, and yes, I do reuse my honey. This is a honey jar that I had honey in, and I finished all the honey and actually used the liquid because I warmed this up to get the salt dissolved, and I used the warm liquid to get the last of the honey out, and that was enough for the recipe I needed. But if you don't have a sieve or a filter or anything like that, a piece of cheesecloth, or in this case, this is a coffee filter. I just have a regular mouth. You can use any kind of jar you have that has a lid. You can, one of these rings will fit on it, or you can use an elastic band to keep it on if you don't have a filter to filter out whatever you're trying to filter into your mason jars or your bowls, whatever. You can use that little tip and it will help keep it in place while you strain whatever you're straining. Don't have a coffee filter, don't drink coffee, use a paper towel. Works pretty good. I'm just straining my last mason jar of salt water. So I decided to show you how, if you don't have a coffee filter because you don't drink coffee, this is what you can do. If you have a piece of cheesecloth, muslin cloth, that works. Also, a quick tip, it will wick down the sides of the cheesecloth or whatever you have hanging over. If it's a coffee filter, whatever, I put a saucer down the bottom. My jar is clean, so anything that wicks down there, it's going to be filtered through whatever you're filtering it through. So you can just go ahead and pour it back into the jar when it accumulates on the saucer or the plate or whatever you have it on. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just filtering it through a paper cloth. So here are some of the things we recently just harvested out of the garden for the Every Bit Counts challenge that we are preserving in various different ways, whether it be dehydrating, fridge pickles, or just plain freezing. We are doing numerous things to preserve all the harvest.